All right. Hey there, everybody. Uh, video is regarding a command letter for the ADA, the American Dental Association. And I want to explain. I got a few notes here. Uh, this is in part for a review for me because I've been working on this literally for days. And I've done review after review after review, editing. And I think I've got a pretty good document here. And this will be posted on the website, on the services page in the documents section. And this video is for everyone, but especially for American Dental Association members, because uh, I want to explain. I want to explain. I want them to have some knowledge, the reason why I'm doing this. I Like Johnny Cash says, "I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere." Well, in a sense, I can say that. So, over 240 videos now because of the oppression and suppression and attacks by government, um, the oppression from the American Dental Association, the fear that anybody uh, who looks at this feels with regards to I'm going to take some action. Um, so, because I've done so much, there's so many videos, I want to save you a little bit. If you want to do some research into some of this, uh, uh, ADA members, my connecting the dots videos. There's a connecting the dots and a connecting the dots 2, a connecting the dots 3, a connecting the dots 4. Just take a look at my YouTube channel and go through the list of videos there and search those out. Then you could look at the freely giving. Then there's just a lot of videos where I'm sharing knowledge of what I've done, the things that I've done to bring this forward, and all the obstacles that I've met along the way. So, I've got some notes down here. So I'm gonna be looking down at my notes here because my head has just been spinning. My head has been spinning, and how am I going to bring this forward? Because, like I say, I can say, in a sense, I've been everywhere, all around the world, and so um, I've created this document that's a free share document that every man, male or female, you can own this. You can own your authority, and you can serve it on your dentist. There's a lot of dentists, a lot, and there's an email list that can be purchased for per state, um, for about somewhere I think under $150. But at any rate, I'm going to read. I'm going to read you three. We'll call it 3 pages. Um, this shouldn't take too long, and this is to help me review and to explain. So I'll do the minimal amount of commentary as I'm reading through this, and then we'll talk about a few things afterwards. So here we go. The top evidence, Exhibit 1, for dental care providers, for the public. It is the American Dental Association that requires an ADA member to be the one who recommends U.S. Patent 10,933,013B1. As such, this obligation for recommendation belongs exclusively to members of the ADA. You have received Command Letter Exhibit 2, and this information, because a standard of care and duty to provide the public the best services available, has been suppressed by powerful forces for 7 years. Currently, there is no way forward with the extremely hard-won U.S. Patent 10,933,013B1, issued March 2nd, 2021. Prevention and removal of calcified oral plaques and rejuvenation and/or prevention of gum tissue loss for an herbal product oral rinse is extremely disruptive to industries, dental, medical, and pharma. Science had given up on gum tissue rejuvenation as it was written in the United States National Library of Medicine. If you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever and not coming back. Because of fear, as of May 2016 to date, I'm going to scroll this up a little bit so I'm not looking down so much. All right, here we go. Because of fear, as of May 2016 to date, no dentist, no medical provider, no politician, no attorney, no investor, no cannabis business, no cannabis researcher, no reporter, no truther will act responsibly in said manner because they all fear government and/or industry retaliation or attacks, with 2 exceptions noted. And then I've got a couple of little, I don't know what you call them there, but they denote a note down below, okay? So for the 2 exceptions. And thus, the public has needlessly suffered harms for poor oral health, as for the average 15 million root canal procedures annually in America, primarily caused from preventable tooth decay, caused in large part from preventable oral plaques, causing gum tissue loss. This situation, making for cowards that allowed this bad behavior to go on, requires action to stop and correct. The crimes, local, national, and international, are numerous: for trespass, many for treason. Knowledge of a crime and not reporting a crime is a crime. Aiding and abetting a crime is a crime. The United States patent issued March 2nd, 2021, and documented for dental office the efficacy from 2015. There has been no way forward to date. The government and private member association oppression prevents the advancements in oral health and obstructs the rights to industry for U.S. patent 10933,013B1, issued March 2nd, 2021. As such, the people are working for accountability for these matters. And then the note. The dentist that was so impressed and wanted clinical trials conducted, the time period of the raids has been silent since the inventor's arrest, May 2016. The Canadian Jamaican business that committed to further research, product development, and marketing back in 2017 basically had their business destroyed 2018 through 2019 and into 2020 by the United States. First with freezing their banking. Then later there was problem after problem with the Jamaican licensing authority. All right, that's the end of the first page. The second page, I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to scroll up here and we'll get to the second page. The second page is the command letter. Now, all of you ADA members, I can't apologize for this. I know that for the vast majority of you, if not all of you, this is going to strike fear in your hearts. But hey, that's the way the world is. That's the way the world is. And this comes after a long journey. And you're all very intelligent, I'm sure, to be able to do the service that you do. However, you cannot be a slave that harms the public. You cannot be a slave of your private member association and of corporate governance and obstruct advancements in oral health that prevent harm. Plaques, the ADA recommends visiting the dentist twice a year annually for an exam and to have the plaques scraped off of your teeth. Why? Because plaques are caused from bacteria, saliva, and carbohydrates, and they are a breeding ground for bacteria, which eats away at your teeth, causing tooth decay, which leads to root canals. The Surgeon General from 2000 says you cannot be healthy without good oral health, and that's a fact. I was checking out. 30 plus years of toxic teeth caused me about 30 chronic conditions, diseases that took its toll on me. It started with one. So I can go on and on and on about this. This is serious. Children die in the dental chair. Now you dentists are all taking blood pressure, telling us we can't cross our legs. That's because statistically, every dentist will experience a death at a dental office visit. Our healthcare system needs a lot of help. All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes here of this command letter. I'll wet my pipes again. Evidence. Exhibit 2. For responsible American Dental Association members. Command letter for the investigation, action, knowledge. Cannabis oral rinse. The reason for this command is for overcoming the oppression, suppression, and attacks by government, big tech, judicial, and the oppression from the American Dental Association. For the fear that prevents the knowledge, the commercialization, and the marketing worldwide for U.S. Patent 10-933-013-B1, issued March 2nd, 2021. Introduction for documentation through dental office pictures for calcified plaque removal on the home page, www.oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Note, this dentist wanted to conduct clinical trials, yet has been silenced by fear since 2016. Documentation through dental office pictures for gum tissue rejuvenation on the homepage, www.oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Note, this dentist office threatens to bar the inventor from the office and services if in the provider's office he talks about it again. Additional pictures can be found in the research proposal on the home page, on the About Us page. Correction there. Additional pictures can be found in the research proposal on the About Us page, www.oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Accountability for oral health care providers for public safety, with duty and obligation and standard for care for providing the best possible services, treatments, and cures, requires that information and actions be documented. The American Dental Association refuses to acknowledge the evidence provided by documentation from outside of the ADA. The ADA requires an ADA member make recommendation for further research and use of United States Patent US 10-933-013-B1 for oral health and dental care before any responsible corrective action will take place by the ADA. Command for ADA member action. 1. Investigate www.oralhealthwithcannabis.com. 2. Take action with accountability. Option 1. Make recommendation to the American Dental Association for research for oral health cannabis formulations, then email evidence to ethan@oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Option 2. Send email evidence for rejecting the findings for cannabis formulations for oral health to ethan@oralhealthwithcannabis.com. Note, no action is an act of suppressing U.S. Patent 10933-013-B1, issued March 2nd, 2021, and the benefits for better oral health options to the public. All right, so to all you ADA members, I have been around the block. I have been to cannabis researchers all over the world. I've been reached out to cannabis business after cannabis business till it's just obvious how futile it is. I have encouraged all cannabis business outside of the United States, outside of the jurisdiction of my United States intellectual property, to bring this forward. I share my trade secrets. I share my experience. I share my knowledge freely. And I encourage industry to bring it forward. But they don't. And it's because of fear. Anybody that's in the cannabis business might have a very good thing going, and the last thing they want to do is upset their apple cart. As what happened with that Canadian Jamaican company that was setting up in Jamaica. They had operations in Canada. They were setting up in Jamaica. I believe they had 16 million in private money. And shortly after they committed to me, the United States government froze their bank accounts. Now, they didn't relate that directly to me because they continued communicating with me. And eventually, when overcoming that experience, I finally made it to Jamaica January 2019, only to return June 2019 because obviously there was no way forward, because once I arrived there, they had problem after problem after problem with the Jamaican licensing authority. My story is, there's a lot of story to my story. So I'm trying to condense it down and give you ADA members a little bit of knowledge for your benefit. All right, the last page here. I did find one small typo. I misspelled the. I worked real hard to be simple. I like that kiss, that constitutional kiss. Keep it stupidly simple. Because if the stupid can get it, the dumb down can own it. And we've all been dumbed down. All right, the last page here. Evidence, Exhibit 3. Timeline documenting government tactics. So this is what you ADA members are going to be facing to bring this forward. Potentially. And I know this because I've been around the block. And metaphorically, I've been everywhere, man, with this. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. So I put together a timeline of some major events. Now, the story goes much deeper than these events. But these events are factual. And to the best of my knowledge, I've got the dates correct. And I've got it in a chronological order here. So I'm just going to read through this. It won't take long. This is important information. Raids, December 2015, came within weeks of dental office pictures. Pictures can be found on the homepage, www.oralhealthwithcannabis.com. The pictures are for dental office documentation for the oral health cannabis formulation's efficacy. In other words, those pictures came from a dentist office and a dentist office evaluation of the cannabis formulation's efficacy. These government raids crippled, disabled, defamed for ignoring the facts for oral health benefits for man and mammal, and set up the following 7 years for ongoing oppression, suppression, and attacks. The inventor was in Washington State, January 2016, working with Pacific Coast Economic Development, in contact with a senator, a cannabis researcher, and the Washington State Licensing Authority for Marijuana Research License. Number 3, mid to late February 2016, the inventor's defense attorney calls to say the Kalkaska County prosecutor says there will be no charges. It is safe to return to Michigan. Late February or early 2016, the Washington State Licensing Authority revoked the marijuana research license. The only state to offer a marijuana research license revoked it. May 2016, ignoring the inventor and evidence, the National Institute of Health funded a study to regenerate gum tissue with the study title, Revolutionizing the Root Canal. The $1.8 billion study failed to regenerate gum tissue. May 2016, Kalkaska, Michigan, the inventor is arrested, jailed, charged in a kangaroo court with several felonies. On this alone, the inventor claims he could write a book. Let's review number 3. Mid to late February 2016, the inventor's defense attorney calls to say the Kalkaska County prosecutor says there will be no charges. It is safe to return to Michigan. That's the same thing the prosecutor told me before I left. All right. Number 7. December 2017, Canadian Jamaican cannabis business responds to the inventor's research proposal, commits to work with said inventor. Then early 2018, the United States government freezes said Canadian Jamaican banking accounts. Find the research proposal on the About Us page, oralhealthwithcannabis.com. About Us, /About Us. I got the link in there. I'll scroll up here so I'm not looking down so much. In the fall of 2018, after the United States Patent and Trademark Office examiner for the inventor's case contacts the inventor's patent attorney, and they colluded and conspired against said inventor's intellectual property, eventually for a United States Patent Trademark Office final office action denied. The inventor has the evidence in emails and phone record transcripts for the United States Patent Trademark Office examiner attacks. Number 9, after near a year delay, see 7 above. Now, January 2019, the inventor arrived in Jamaica, and now the Jamaican Licensing Authority makes many problems that prevent product development, commerce, or research to the point the inventor could not overcome, and he returned stateside June 2019. 10, after several actions fighting the United States Patent and Trademark Office, finally, in 2020, the United States Patent and Trademark Office issues notice of allowance for said patent. The inventor won the patent. 2021, the inventor's last opportunity for international patents that must be filed before the patent issued, creating prior art. Yet the inventor's patent attorney conspired with two bar attorneys for tortious interference for international patents lost. The judicial system has trespassed, disabled, defamed, and registers the inventor as a criminal for his discoveries and make no correction. 13. During lockdown in Michigan, the people cannot walk down the seed aisle section to buy garden seeds in the springtime Yet cannabis business, recreational, and medical are declared essential by the governor. So there you go, in a nutshell. Now, it goes much deeper than that. There's a lot more details. There's a lot more bad actors. There's a lot of what I consider gang stalking that has gone on. And it has created so much fear that no cannabis business will infringe on my intellectual property. No cannabis free of my intellectual property in territories, jurisdictions outside of the United States of America will not bring it forward because they don't want to be treated the way that Canadian Jamaican company was treated. No dentist or medical provider wants to bring it forward. No politician, no cannabis politician, no doctor. Dr. Oz has looked at this. When he had his show before he became a politician, Dr. Oz won't tell you about it. Dr. Sanjay Gupta came out, apologized for his prior position on cannabis, said some very good things about it, and then he went silent. I worked very hard to get this information to Dr. Gupta. I can expect that he knows about it, but I can't confirm that. Dr. Shiva, he wants to talk about cannabis. He's a truth, health, freedom fighter. Dr. Shiva's not going to tell you about this. The list goes on and on. A former military man, I believe a field medic, served our country in the cannabis business, says he sees it, but he has better things to do. This has not been an easy way forward. It's not been an easy way forward. So it's a fact. People are afraid to watch my YouTube videos. It takes courage to give a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, people. Why not? And this when I get this posted up on the services page, this is something that any one of you can serve on any ADA member. And it's your choice on how you want to do it. I don't want anybody to feel threatened. I need to see correction happen. And the cowardice that has let the fear control to create this situation has to be overcome. So maybe you ADA members want to get together and stand together, because when that gang stalking starts, when the American Bar Association, another private member association like the ADA, a private member association, when that American Bar Association member gets word from the bar, do nothing to help that man, male or female, and it's you, and you got bar members coming after you, you got judges giving orders to have you kidnapped, bound, imprisoned. It's frightening stuff. But that's the situation that we're in. So, in addition to everything I've done, I've gotten quite an education. I've learned a lot about how the government works, how the bar works, how private member associations work, the American Medical Association, another private member association. So this is where we got to go. We got to own our authority. We have to stand up for our rights, and we have to hold our public servants and our healthcare providers to the public accountable for the services they provide and services that they deny wrongfully. So let's see what else. I just want to take a look at my notes here and see. Yeah, I pleaded. There's Kalkaska, Michigan is known as the cannabis capital of Michigan. Got a population of just over 2,000, and there's all kind of cannabis shops, and the commercial industry is full of it, grows and processors. Now, over there in the commercial side, I talked with two business owners, independent, and I pretty much pleaded with them. Just bring it to market. Don't worry about paying me a penny. Don't worry about a royalty. Don't worry about infringement. I'll give you the permission. I give you the authority. I give you the rights to bring this forward without any consequence of infringement on the intellectual property. Just do it to my specifications. Let's bring this forward. Let's make it known. They won't do it because fear. They got a lot invested. They probably have a good thing going on. And this is what I run into everywhere I go. All right, state representatives. Well, let's go back to Rick Schneider. Rick Schneider's got no time for this. How about Gretchen Whitmer? No way forward. Going to correct my criminal record. Going to get economic development working. Going to allow some research to happen. You got a United States patent, and we have states where there is no medical marijuana or recreational marijuana. I have a United States patent and cannot get a United States trademark. No, that would require a trademark in every state. And any state to do business, these states with their licensing, with the slave system, seed to sale tracking. Well, you got to have a license for growing. And I think the maximum is 1,000 plants. How's anybody going to supply the nation with a cannabis oil rinse with 1,000 plant grow and seed to sale tracking? You got to have a license, a processor's license. You got to have a dispensary license for every dispensary location that you want to have. The restrictions are just unbelievable, and every state has its own rules, and they all have bar attorneys that deal with all of this. There's no way forward so far, and that has to change because on average here in America 15 million root canals, and the ADA has no evidence that a root canal is a safe procedure and that it doesn't create a toxic tooth. And there's overwhelming evidence that every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth. Dr. Thomas Levy claims he finds oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle in 90% of his patients. That toxic teeth are the cause of 90% of heart attacks. He claims I got some only if used Federal Reserve notes trade. I don't know what that means. Those comments are just flashing. I'm doing this on the phone because I read this off the computer. So I lost my train of thought there. That was another reason. Only if using Federal Reserve notes to trade. This is how they inject themselves. Well, I've become a freedom fighter. I've become an educator. I lead by example. I explain what I've done, and I share everything freely. I I can't tell you what the answer is, other than own your authority. You have rights. You need to own them. By the maxims of law, you can give up your rights, and the whole system has been set up right from your first breath to enslave you. And we could talk about that for just a second. Uh, the slavery system, you're brainwashed, you're marked, traced, and tracked. You've spoken to Telegram. You're doing a great service, G-Man. Well, thank you. Thank you. Um, so, with freedom, you have free thinking. With freedom, you have privacy. With freedom, you're not enslaved by this thing that's known as government that was established to do your work, not to enslave you, to make all these rules for your safety and then violate your liberty and your freedom for your safety. How many men, male and female, are in prison for cannabis? How many people worry about it? You got a YouTube video after YouTube video of cops planting marijuana. Planting marijuana. Why? So that they can trespass, so that they can bind you, kidnap you, and imprison you. This is how ridiculous it is. I keep in this journey. I go down this road, I go down that road, and time again, it's just a dead end. And you go down all these dead ends, and you come back to ground zero, and you start over. So recently, I did this in Kalkaska because I got to thinking, free thinking, right? My critical thinking. And I come to the realization that, hey, the sheriff's office, the circuit court, the district court, the county clerk, are all in the land jurisdiction of the village of Kalkaska. And the village of Kalkaska has a police department. And I have never had any interaction that I'm aware of. I have no recall of any prior interaction with the village police prior to when I recently went in there to report the corruption in the jurisdiction of the village of Kalkaska. And I set up YouTube Live, and I made an introduction to the officer, the policy enforcement officer, who was there to take my statements, and the YouTube feed cut. So I hit the button and it started again, but the beginning was lost. Only a few minutes into this, and the chief of police comes and interrupts it and tells me I'm just there to argue. That he says, I'm telling you nicely, which was a veiled threat, to pack up your stuff and go. You're just here to argue. And he has no authority over a judge. Now, I hadn't said anything about a judge yet, but I'd have gotten there. And I believe he knew that. I believe I'm infamous in the village of Kalkaska, in Kalkaska County. So in the village of Kalkaska, judge is above the law. A judge can make an order, a command, and send out his thugs in clown costumes with guns and tasers and torture cuffs. And then they kidnap you and throw you in a rape cage and put you in the system. And if that American Bar Association has put the word out, do nothing to help that man, well, you got a real problem. But this is how it is. So, I worked hard to make this document something that anyone can use. As I did the Americans Notice of Liability, I made that document for myself, but then somebody wanted one for another state and another state and another state. And eventually I created a Americans Notice of Liability that worked for all states, because you can't have a right in one state that you don't have in another. And kept it to a one-page document. And to my surprise and my pleasure, I have seen that document. I've seen 3 different YouTube creators use that Americans Notice of Liability as a main point in their YouTube video, to include Brian with Here's the Deal, Josh Eddy, and a recent one that was an hour-long talk about the right to travel. So, what else do I have? Any notes here I want to talk about? I think I've pretty much covered it. Keep this video under an hour. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to end it. I'm going to give it a day or two. Today is Friday. Monday will be New Year's Day. Thank you for the thumbs up. That's awesome. I just saw 2 thumbs up come up. This is Friday, the end of December, last Friday of December 2022. I think by Monday, I will have these 3 exhibits posted on the services page of the website titled Command Letter ADA or something to that effect. You'll be able to find it. All right, everybody. I love you. I'm fighting for you. Own your authority. Try this.